The Ford Ranger isn't just one of Australia's most popular utes, it's one of Australia's most popular vehicles, so when it gets updated, we tend to sit up and take notice. The big news with this facelifted Ranger is the fact you can get the Raptor's bi-turbo diesel engine for $15,000 less. But it also has revised suspension and interior trim as well. Now, yesterday it was 28 degrees and sun, today it's 15 degrees and rain. But what better conditions to test this 4x4 dual cab ute than right here in its own backyard? This Australian designed, Thailand built ute tested right here in Victoria. Let's have a closer look. Now, driving here in top spec wild track specification, you do get a whole lot of kit for your money. There's Ford's excellent Sync 3 infotainment system with really crisp graphics and quick response rates, and it sits just above the dual zone climate control, which is standard. There's also now automatic reverse park assistance, which is a first for a ute. You of course get leather seat trim with heated front seats, and in the rear, as with all dual cab Rangers, there's a really nicely tilted seat base that makes for really great comfort levels. The only downside there is that you don't get rear air vents. Ford Australia's engineers are acutely aware of this deficit. You can get them in the Navara or even the Toyota Hilux, for example, but it simply isn't available on the current platform. Now, there's no major revolution when it comes to the way the Ranger performs off-road. You still get high-range two-wheel drive, high-range four-wheel drive, or low-range four-wheel drive, complete with a separate button for the locking rear diff. Here in really quite greasy conditions in Victoria today, the Ranger did really well. It climbed over everything it needed to, just as it did in the dry the day before. A big piece of news is that you can now get the 2-litre bi-turbo diesel engine that was first debuted in the 74,990 Raptor for a lick under $60,000 in the Ranger XLS. What that means is that power moves, compared with the 3.2-litre 5-cylinder turbo diesel, from 147 kilowatts of power to 157 kilowatts of power, and from 470 newton meters of torque to 500 newton meters. Now, that's a small rise on both counts, but what it does for the Ranger is give it a whole new character in terms of drivability. It's smoother, quieter, and thanks to that 10-speed auto, a whole lot punchier than before. The other thing that the Ford's Australian engineers did was improve the suspension slightly. Not that it needed great improvement, but it is a little bit better controlled than before. The electric power steering is still nice, light and sweet, while the ride comfort remains really quite disciplined over even some of the nastiest surfaces, and there are a few of those here in country Victoria. So this really is probably now, with this bi-turbo diesel engine, one of the most refined and comfortable utes around. Now, where the Ranger does fall down slightly is in terms of value. A lot of its new active safety technology, such as autonomous emergency braking, is optional until you get right up to the top spec models. It probably should be standard given that the price tags aren't exactly cheap. Even so, if you want one of the best utes, this is absolutely your cup of tea. So then, the bi-turbo diesel doesn't exactly transform the Ranger experience, but then it needed no great transformation. It's still a smooth, involving drive experience with fantastic off-road credentials. It also has a great back seat and more active safety technology than ever before.